Ah, dear fucking God. Dun, dun, dun. All right, welcome back. Again. Let's see if we can actually do something now. Jesus Christ. All right. We are set up. All right. Let's do this. Hello, Miss Mermaid Mako. How you doing? Yesterday, we talked about pinups. We talked about posing. We talked about emotions. We talked about how to use your skills to be able to copy other styles. We talked a little bit about different things. And we ranted off for like 3 hours. So yesterday was really fun. That was full of like drawings. Today, hey, what's up, man? Today we don't have that much time because I have to get prepared to go meet with lawyers in a little bit. And that's not going to be pretty. It's not nice. I hate stuff like that. But it has to be done. So you guys have me for about like 35, 40 minutes. So if one of you guys can please give me like a call, like a little notification as to when the time is about to be up, because I'll just run into like going over and I'll just like miss my appointment. Anyways, what should we learn today? What can I teach you guys quickly that's gonna look cool? I can teach you guys eyes. You guys want to learn how to draw eyes real quickly? Let's draw eyes. So if you guys want to learn how to draw really beautiful detailed eyes, you don't need to learn every aspect of anatomy to be able to get to this. Okay? You really don't. Eyes are incredibly simple to draw. It's a very simple shape combined with a lot of manuability. So there's a lot of maneuverability that comes down into drawing an eyeball. Mostly because we create a lot of expressions with them. So they don't have to be completely even. And when they are completely even, it kind of looks weird. Because it looks robotic, it looks made up. So there's a lot of liberties that come into play when you're drawing things like eyes. Eyes in the core of it, the very core of the core essence of eyes, comes down to just 4 circles and 1 overlapping shape. And I'm going to show you guys that little trick, and we're going to draw a ton of different eyes with that. Okay? Ugh, stupid little waxy thing. Anyways. So, if you guys want to draw eyes like this, the whole concept in itself is really easy. Let's dissect this. Okay? What is an eyeball? An eyeball is a big white ball that goes inside your skull. So if you know that, that's step number 1. Right? Ta-da! Understanding that this is a shape in perspective, instead of seeing it as a little tiny circle, is the next step. How do you determine that? Well, you do little guides, but you don't really need to do it for the eye. The eye is really simple. So at most, give it like a guideline so that you know where the middle of your eye is. So that way you can go like this and determine where the middle of the eye is going to be. Okay, that's as much as you really need to understand about the basic shape of the eye. The eye is a circle that turns into a sphere by drawing a circle inside of it, or a midline. Okay? You don't need to do shading. You don't need to do anything like this. You don't need to do any of that shit. Leave that for later. Leave that for when you want to detail it in a different way. Don't learn like this, because learning like this makes it really hard to progress. Learning through shadows and like shading and stuff like that to get your detail, that is how you end up in a situation where you don't know how to draw anything. Like, so this is not a foundational skill, by the way. Shadows are not a foundational skill for character design. Not a foundation, okay? Lighting in general is a secondary thing, like coloring. Understanding how volume works around your objects, that is the absolute bee's knees when it comes down to understanding character design. Understanding character design is all about understanding how to see through your shapes, because you need to be able to build things like a 3D program. Okay? Your brain needs to be calibrated to be able to see through your elements and not just on them. So that whenever you have to change a direction, a perspective, or anything, you don't have to feel so incredibly overwhelmed, especially when it comes down to positions like looking up, looking down, and such like that. So understanding the core of it, instead of understanding the details of it, is what's going to let you be free with your art, instead of being all like tied up to just drawing anime or just drawing, I don't know, a single thing. Like if you find yourself really, really hard knocked into like one single style, it's because you learned from this. You learn from style instead of learning from your foundations, which is why everybody teaches you to learn from your dad foundations. Everybody's right. Everybody's like, do your foundational work, do your foundational work. A lot of the times they don't explain why. Well, you do it so that you don't have to struggle when you want to be creative. It's like an athlete. You got to work out. You got to lift those weights, you know? These are your weights. These are your heavy lifting. Little exercises like this. I'll share this with my friend who's been trying to draw eyes. Yeah, cool. Do that. Okay, so now that we understand that one circle is a sphere and then the eye comes from that, then let's divulge a little bit more into how we can break it down into style. So a circle gives us the outside edge of the eye. Another circle, so two circles, give us the colored part of the eye. Three circles give us an entire eye. Four circles give us a highlight, if you want it. Okay? So that's one circle, two circles, three circles, four circles. And then from there, you transition to the eyelid. The eyelid is another oval over these things. So that's the fifth circle. And then one overlapping line. So you have 5 circles and one overlapping line. And just like that, you have yourself really pretty eyes. Now, that overlapping line can be any style you want and open as much as you want because your eye opens like a globe, right? Your eye has hemispheres if you see it like a 3D-dimensional shape. Every single one of these becomes a possible eyelid. So, my 4 circles. And then later on, when I learn more anatomy, I can learn about little tiny things like eyelashes and tear ducts and overlapping eyelids and stuff like that. That's stuff that comes later. You know, that's a style choice. It's not something that is in everybody. What everybody has is an eyelid, the colored parts inside, and your eyes. And that's what everybody has. So if everybody has it, there has to be a way to simplify it. So that is essentially how you progress through learning eyes. Through 5 circles and one overlapping shape. One overlapping line. You should never have an issue with eyes again. I'm gonna give you guys demonstrations for the next 30 or so minutes while I have to wait for my things to come. So that is the basic explanation of how the form works. And then this is how we're gonna simplify this, okay? The simplification process comes down to drawing your eyeball, and then you draw two lines, one dark one that overlaps the shape and one smaller one inside the shape. And just like that, you have yourself a set of eyes. Just overlap the shape with the top one, inside draw another one, and draw your style. Simple enough, right? It's 9 a.m., thank you. Yeah, I gotta go in like 30 minutes. So once you understand that eyes are not overly complicated, they're just misunderstood. Okay? Your nose normally blocks a little bit of that other eye, and therefore that's why you don't see it. Okay? That is why they look different, because you normally only see that part. But the entirety of the eye, if you draw through your shape, you get access to that knowledge. And knowledge is power. Because knowledge is power. Okay? So the reason why a lot of the times we only see a little bit of it, or like it looks a lot smaller, is because a lot of the is being blocked by the nose. So keep that in mind. The bottom of the eye becomes the bottom of your eyelid. I like to shadow my noses with a little bit of highlight in the middle. Boom. Do you stream on Twitch too? Yeah, all the recordings of these are on YouTube. If you guys go to YouTube, there's like 400 videos or more. 400 plus videos that you guys can use to be able to learn and get better. I want to get to the 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you guys want to go join me, that you guys can get me really close to it if you guys all sub. I got to get to 100,000 because I want to get that plaque. I want to get that plaque so I can tell my nephews that they're like with a YouTuber like uncle, and I can be the coolest uncle in the world. Nobody will ever match me in uncle powerness. So that's my goal. So if you guys go on YouTube, you guys can go subscribe to me. You guys can help me achieve that goal. Yeah, same name on YouTube. All my links are in my link in my bios. So if you guys just follow that, you guys can find all my stuff, including my books and stuff like that too. So in case you guys are wondering. Anyways, more examples. Let's draw examples of eyes, because eyes are so cool. Eventually, you'll get used to not drawing the second eye, right? You'll get used to drawing through your shape for your eyebrows. You won't have to draw the guidelines all the time. It's just a matter of getting used to it. Okay? Once you get used to it, you're not going to need these anymore. But until you do, I highly suggest you use them because they help you understand where the body parts go. Let's see, what type of eyes? You guys should name eyes. What eyes are hard for you guys to understand? I mean, it's easy when you do it on paper, but without the head, no, it's not. Why is it difficult when you have it? Just understand where your body parts go. And then you don't have to worry about that. So I don't know what you mean. The concept itself is very easy, and therefore it's very easy to apply to something like a face. So, buddy, I don't know what you're... I don't know what you're trying to say, man. I think you need to go check yourself before you wreck yourself. That's such a millennial thing, like old person thing to say. I used to hate it when my bosses used to say that shit. And that's why I say it to people when I kind of like want to kind of troll them a little bit. I love you, man. Like, you know, it's fine. Like, don't worry. I'm not trying to do it to be mean. I just do it to be like silly and stuff. You know, so, but in general, a lot of the times people do practice just floating features. So floating features like that, they're good when you want to draw something pretty. But again, a lot of the times people do have issues being able to put that onto an actual face, an actual character. That's why the way that I teach is more like a puzzle piece. The way that I teach the things, it's always a puzzle piece. So if you guys want to know where your eyes go, you can start with any shape of a head, any shape. You can start with a midline, start with a triangle where you want your nose to be, and the tippy top of that triangle is going to be the middle of your eyes. So you can draw your eyeballs. That triangle is the very tip of your nose bridge. This is the division right here, which gives you that crease. So I have that crease. That crease gives me access to my eyebrows. The eyebrow gives me access to the side of the face. The side of the face, by split in half, gives me access to my ear. My ears, if I find both of them, I can go down and almost a cylinder to find the connection with my rib cage. From my rib cage, I create a compass and an egg to come up with where my rib cage and my collarbone is going to be. This is the edge of my arm, so all my arm volume is going to come in, and then all my meatiness is going to come inside. So now I have pectorals, shoulders, arms, forearms, and hand in like a second. My rib cage is already there too, so all I got to do is follow the rib cage from behind to find my spine that connects to my hip bones. My hip bones are two little circles that come in at about 35 to 45 degrees. Those circles allow me then to be able to draw cylinders to draw my legs. So I can draw my legs in all sorts of positions now because I have access to cylinders. Pásale, pásale. So now I can play around with posing all I want. And finding these connecting points also allows me to find different positions for the arm by doing exactly the same thing. So that is why the way that I teach tends to help a lot of people. It's not for everybody, obviously. Not everything is for everybody. You can't teach all fishes how to... You can't teach all the fishes how to climb a tree, you know? But for the people that do get it, it's made a difference. And then your eye goes right there. Your eyeball. And then you get to choose the eyelid. So eyeball and then eyelids. For style, emotions, whatever. Follow the guidelines and I can draw things like mustaches, mouths. If I go around my shapes, I can learn how to draw hats. And other stylish stuff. If I learn how to draw through my shapes like this, I can learn how to draw clothing really easy. See what I mean? Learning how your basic shapes work and how they function in space is essentially the key. But having it explained in a way that makes sense and not boring you to death is even better. Because once you understand one, the other one comes very easy. This is actually harder than drawing what I teach. Like the way I teach my anatomy is easier than finding this sometimes. And that is why I am called a good teacher. But let's go back to eyes because we're running out of time. I just wanted to flex that I know exactly where to put everything. So that you guys can come watch me draw and you guys can make me famous. And I can teach everybody and then I can be like Bob Ross, but with no hair. And I cuss a lot more. No, I will not see your private videos, you harlot. Get out of my stream. Movement of the spine. No, let's continue the eyes. The eyes are the main key here. I just got distracted. We can talk about anatomy later on. We'll leave the bottom part for anatomy. So the eyes. Going back to the very simple concept of just two crossing lines, this is essentially what you're doing with your eyes. This is the concept. This, like that. It's not a teardrop. It's not an oval. It's just this. It's two overlapping lines. If you can do that in a bunch of different ways, you're going to have the ability to draw eyes in a ton of different ways. Because that's all it's happening. All that's happening is this one dark line interacting and overlapping a smaller, thinner line, and that's what's giving you the ability to draw your eye in all sorts of shapes. Pretty much any shape you want. You can want it as a square, cool. Drew a squarey line and then intersect that with a thinner line, and now you have square eyes. Perfect. You want something like, I don't know, super cartoony like Looney Tunes eyes. Make that into more like an oval, darken the top line a little bit. And then add whatever style, look, or feel that you want for it. I'm not teaching you a style, okay? I'm not teaching you how to draw. I'm teaching you how to see things. And once you see things, you can't unsee them, okay? Once you actually grasp it and you guys click, that's why I absolutely love my comment section. Because you start seeing people that just get it. People that just go like, oh my God, that's brilliant. And then you get the people that aren't there yet, right? You get the people that aren't there. You're like, ugh, this is so stupid. He didn't explain nothing. He didn't say shit. He said 4 words and said nothing. And they get so angry because other people actually grasp it, but they don't. And to me, that is a beautiful social experiment. To me, it's like I get to understand how other people react to not understanding or not having knowledge. Right? And it's aggression. So it actually, I'm helping prevent aggression in the actual art place by giving people knowledge. That's kind of cool. Because artist rage is real. Can you explain how to do the side profile? Sure. You guys want to know, okay, what's a side profile? Let me explain that first, right? So it's going to seem so easy to you after this. If you have your face, normally your profile is only half your features, right? So if you take an eye and you split it in two, you end up with this. Oh, it's like a little triangle here. Hold on. Split it in half, poo-poo. So you get this side, and then you have an eye. That's literally it. Like, it's just a dark line, and then an intersecting little line. Just shifted. The peak of the actual eye is going to determine where it is. Profile, it's on the side. 3/4, it's in the 3/4. If it's in the middle, the peak will normally be in the middle. So that is essentially how you learn to draw your eyes in all sorts of directions. Just learn the peak of that line. That's it. And then you draw a little one underneath, and then the other one underneath can be any sort of expression. You can curve it up so you can get like surprise expressions like, oh no. Ah, no, bargain. Or you can do just all sorts of different things, like, you know, like at this point, you can draw anything into an eye because now you have that power. You have knowledge. So anything you draw is going to be really close to eyes. How can you draw anime eyes? Yeah. What's anime eyes? Like anime eyes are just like more like ovally, right? So they're taller. So just draw this instead. Dark line, thin line, and then stylize this any way you want. You know, darken this as much as you want. Give it all the flair you want. And then draw yourself your eye inside. Try to match that. It's easier to match a line than it is to draw, like, try to, like, match a circle for some reason. I am a magical queen from the land of... All right, I know this is a short stream today, but I still need you guys to hit me with those heart buttons. Make sure to hit that little heart button as much as you guys can. Show me that you guys are learning. If you guys do not show me that you guys are learning by showing some sort of demonstration of, I don't know, like visualization aspect, I can't really understand if you guys are learning or not. I wish I had actual people in person, though. Like, I want to teach people in person so bad. Like, I have a feeling that I would make, like, a generally amazing teacher in actual colleges. I think I would just be one of those people that change lives. But no stupid school wants to give me a chance because I don't have a master's degree. And that's bullshit. But whatever. I'll just keep teaching stadium-sized amounts of people every day. Zoom class is a good idea. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Anyways, let's keep on going. The style of choices of eyes. Now that we know how to draw the eye, now we have to know how to place the eye. Right? Now we need to know how and where to put it. Well, I'm going to show you guys really easy. There's a very simple technique for this, okay? Understanding one key point of your eyes is going to make your head shapes a million times easier. One aspect, and if you guys listen to anything today, listen to this, okay? Wherever you decide that you're going to split your head to be the front or the back of your shape, whatever place you want that, that's going to be where your eyebrow ends. Wherever you do that, draw a circle to the middle line. Draw a circle to the outside line. Draw a circle towards the bottom. And from the cheekbones, draw a circle to the edge. Your eyebrow will always give you that split because it's linked to your cheekbone and it's linked to your temple. So understanding that one aspect of things can help you understand where your heads would go. Okay? Understanding, that's why it's important to know where, draw them in the proper place, right? If you draw them like floating and stuff like that, that's an impossibility. You can't do that with that. But if you actually draw them based on where your anatomy is telling you to put it, then you end up in a situation where you can actually understand where your eye socket is. Really, really easy. And your eye socket is what holds your eyeball. It's like a cup. I do have a YouTube channel. So now let's draw things in different perspectives. Let's see. Let's say that we want 3/4, right? So this is the midline. Well, I get to choose where the side of my face is. At this point, it's just a box, right? I just got to decide. It's pretty much a box. This is what I'm deciding on. Where is this line going to be? Boom. Okay? But instead of seeing it like that, you round it out to make it look like a little pill. You set your midline, and now you have your eyebrow line, your middle section, so you can draw your eye socket going from there to there. From the bottom of your cheekbone, which is this, to the edge of your shape, you draw a circle. And now you have yourself the top of your head, your eye sockets, and the flat side of your head. The middle part of this is going to be where your ear goes. And from here to your chin, you connect it. Now, to me, this was a million times easier than any other method that I've ever done because it just made sense. Because I could fit that into any shape I wanted. Any shape. It doesn't have to be a specific shape. I can just make a random shape, come up with a midline, and then find out where the side of my face is. Boom, 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 boom. And then that's where my eyebrow goes, and I can match that to the rest of my shape. And just like that, I can draw a gigantic variety of characters with all sorts of ages and looks and styles and still know exactly where everything is supposed to fall. So it's really, really cool, especially once you master it, which is not very hard because it's a very simple concept. So understanding that all you have to do is draw any shape, figure out where you want your side to be, and your midline, and now you have the ability to draw yourself a head shape. That's my method. This is my method. All these are my methods. This is the RODGON methods. This is just a variation of the triangle method that I teach. It's just another way of seeing it. Instead of starting from the triangle and going out, right? A lot of people like having the ability to have an already established shape and then build it from there. So if you don't like doing it from the inside out, you can do it from the outside in. And you can have access to every body shape that you want. You can make these a lot smaller to create different styles, different looks, different characters, and it's just an endless variation of things. The eyes tend to fall at the top of that little triangle. That triangle is right in the middle of those two big holes that you make for your eye sockets, okay? If you follow the lines, it's kind of like an infinity symbol. Okay? And then down, it creates a little, it's almost like a candy corn. Right? It's kind of like candy corn. And the candy corn gives you 3 sections. Okay? That middle section is going to be the division for your mouth. This upper section is going to be where your nose comes in. From the edge of your cheekbones down, you end up with your sides, and then you can add more jaw if you want. You can always add more. At the top of this, that triangle, that is going to act like a balancing scale for your eyeballs. And then you decide whatever style you want to give them, and then you give them eyelids in the form of an overlapping shape over the actual eyeball. Your eyebrows will come on in this line, but this upper line, after your eye, you can shift that. So this upper line can move. This lower line can't. And later on, that becomes the butterfly effect. So you end up with a situation where you draw your basic structure, and then you divide that like a little butterfly to come up with where your eyes are exactly supposed to be. Come up with the differentiation of your cheekbones, and then you advance to your eyebrows in a more controlled fashion. But that's more advanced. That's stuff that I don't teach like normally people until they get there. When I see they get there, then I can explain different things, because otherwise you won't see it. And that's a prevalent thing. Like, you need to be able to see it. You need to be able to be at a level that you can actually acknowledge it. And that's the one thing that I've seen when it comes down to all the TikToks that I share. There's people that do get it because they're ready for that knowledge. They've studied enough that they can actually get there. And then there's people that don't get it yet because they haven't taken the time to even study a basic thing like a sphere. You can do it from a sphere. You can practice all day drawing heads from a sphere. All day. You can sit here and just draw heads all day long. Very easy, just from a sphere. Getting used to the actual method is not very hard. You just have to learn to adapt to be able to see it. And you do that by practicing exercises like these. Drawing little triangles around the whole head. You start with that, and then you start trying to add the little circles to see how that works in all sorts of different views. And once you do that, you already have the entirety of the process. Circle that at the edge of this circle to the edge, you have your head. From the edge of this triangle to the edge, you have your muzzle. And that literally creates a skull every time in like 2 seconds. All right, I'm gonna have to go, guys. Thank you so much for keeping me company. I gotta go get ready. But I'll hop on after to do another like lesson after that. Like, so once I'm cleared off, I'll finish off the page, and then we'll like put it all together for the YouTube channel. Okay. So you guys take care. You guys are awesome. You guys again are the best part of my day, and I'm so sorry for all the noise and construction and sounds. It's frustrating to me. But, you know, hopefully you guys are still getting the lesson done. Anyways, your homework. You have homework. You have homework now. Hold on. Homework. Totally forgot. Homework. Okay, your homework will consist of, I want one page, one entire page, and I want RODGON filled pages, not bullshit pages. RODGON filled pages worth of stuff, and you guys know what that means. Okay? You guys know exactly what that means. So, if you guys are going to fill up a page, I want you guys to fill it up like I would. Okay? That's first of all. That's number one. Exercise number 1 is going to consist of doing the 5 circles and 1 overlapping shape, and I want you guys to do a bunch of eyes. But I want you guys to do both eyes at the same time, so you get used to how they interact with each other. Okay? Don't draw the nose yet. What you're going to do is you're just going to draw a little tiny line. You're just going to do this. You're going to draw your eyes. You're going to draw your 5 circles, your overlapping line. And then you're all going to do is this. That's all you're going to do. You're going to split one of the eyes if you're going to want to do a 3/4 view. That's it. Okay? Nothing super complex, just that. Get used to drawing that. If you want to curve it back, perfect. If you don't, perfect. That's fine. But get used to seeing how much of the eye is blocked. I want an entire page of those exercises. Okay? That into your overlapping line and into a nose if you feel like adding a nose. You can always fill that in if you don't want to like see it. But I want you guys to play around with these eyes like this. So you guys get used to the whole concept of just doing them in two simple shapes. Two intersecting lines that are going to be blocked in by the nose a little bit sometimes. Okay? Whatever style you choose to make this upper line in, you can design every cool, ridiculous, awesome, epic, corny, cheesy amount of detail for that upper line. Just keep the bottom line simple or with a little bit less detail, and you have access to really cool stuff. Drawing this in all sorts of angles will be incredibly easier because now it's just a matter of one line. You're not really figuring out a lot more than that. Okay, so that is your exercise for today. If you guys feel like doing that and then tagging me, I would love to see what you guys do. And if you guys ever want to have me review any of your art, what I'm going to do from now on is I'm going to accept reel submissions. So if you submit a reel in which you ask me for advice, I will respond to that reel with the advice that you need. But you have to submit a reel with tagging me and like asking me for advice. That is the only way that I'm going to take submissions for little like reel ideas. If you guys really struggle with something, that's a good way that you guys can ask for help. And all it takes is you guys doing that, because I want to change this format to more interactive. I want it to be a little bit more interactive with my followers. I want it to be a little bit more interactive with what you guys want to learn. It's just going to help me be a better teacher, and it's going to help you guys learn a little bit more controlled pace. So I think that would be a fantastic way forward from here on out. So if you guys want to learn, if you guys have a specific thing, I encourage you guys to please contact me via Reel so that I can actually help you guys with that one thing that you guys might be struggling with. I also highly suggest you guys go look at all the stuff that I've already released before you ask something, because otherwise I'm just going to give you a link. Okay? I'm just going to be like, I already done this. Check this out. You know, do your due diligence before you contact someone for help, because there's nothing worse than a person that just wants everything handed to them. You need to be a person that goes out and tries to seek that knowledge. And then if you can't, that's when your mentor or teachers come in. When you can't find it, that's when we come in. We're not supposed to be the ones holding your hand through everything, because otherwise you don't know and you never learn how to actually do shit. You have to explore and follow through and do it as if you didn't have a mentor, and then ask your mentor when you run into snags. That is how it should be done, instead of, you know, the other way around. But anyways, with that being said, I'm going to let you guys go because I got to get clothes on and stuff. And I got to get my mean person face on because I hate being an asshole. I hate it. I hate it. I'm good at it, but I hate it so much. I hate it. It's like the reason I chose art was because I didn't want to argue for a living. Like, I could have been a lawyer. No, I was going to be a lawyer. I was really good at debate, and then I was really good at academic stuff. But I hated it. I hated making people sad, making people, like, lose their shit, like, making people upset. I hated it. It made me so sad every time. I never felt fulfilled, and it never felt like I was making any difference in the world except for fucking rich people, maybe. You know? Like, in my brain, that was not going to happen. That was not going to be the way that I lived my life. So I decided against it. And, you know, I could not have been happier with the results. So I highly suggest you guys follow your dreams instead of following a paycheck, instead of following the commodities of, like, luxury and stuff like that. Like, downgrade your life a little bit so you can live the life you want. And you'd be surprised at the results. Have a lovely day, everybody. Take care. And if I don't see you guys again, I hope you guys learned a lot and carry on my name, because I might go to jail after today. I might go to jail depending on how this goes. A motherfucker can only take so much. Later, Gators.